I was a shadow, the support, the plan B. I was brought into the world in case something happened to William, his brother. I was assumed to provide backup distraction, and if necessary, a spare part, kidney perhaps, blood transfusion, a speck of bone marrow.
Oh my goodness.
I was 20 the first time I heard the story of what Pa, his, the king right now, allegedly said to mommy, which is Princess Diana, the day of my birth. Wonderful. Now you've given me an heir and a spare. My work is done. A joke. On the other hand, minutes after delivering this bit of high comedy, Pa was said to have gone off to meet with his girlfriend.
Whoa! The fact that he is sharing his side of the story. I expect Meghan to probably have a book. Because a lot of people are like, well, they need to just move on. Like, well, it takes time to write a book. It takes time
from
to
getting kicked out of the
themselves.
royalty?
I know, right?
And so, this is one of the exposés that they were able to just,
Wow.
I heard it out.
Serendipitous. Spilling the tea.
Wait,
The tea.
No, because they're British.
That must be like really, that must be like blasphemous to spill the tea.
well,
Hey guys, it's Shalom. I'm your host for this week's topic on Onyx Family podcast.
Yes, it's one that she's very, very well versed in, honestly. Like, I don't know much about the royal family at all, if I'm honest. I don't know much about it. I don't really look it up. I don't study the history. I don't know who's related to who. But,
literally.
Shalom and our mom, they both love that stuff.
for real.
Yeah.
So today it's all about this book.
Yes, Prince Harry's
If you're
Spare.
not watching it, our dad is holding up the newest book. The latest book is probably one of the best-selling right now ever biographies. Prince Harry's Spare.
Yes.
Autobiography?
right.
I think it's, I don't know. I missed it up. I don't know.
Yeah, autobiography.
is.
So let's introduce ourselves. Like I said before, I'm Shalom.
I'm Shiloh.
Marthel?
Rita.
Sinead.
Shasha.
And today we're going to discuss Spare.
Okay.
So, Shalom, come on.
Yeah, lead out.
You're the host, so
Okay.
Shalom
guys.
is all things London. All things
royal.
British
Royal.
royalty.
All things
I'm kind of
British.
dressed, like even with my outfit today, I'm kind of dressed in some sort of like 1960s sort of London sort of like town, like,
Yeah, I
girl,
see.
Sort of like
Yeah.
girl.
Okay.
That's
So
true.
keep in
That's
mind-
true.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so
So yeah, Spare. Let's talk about it. First off, what is Spare? And like for those who are not in the know of this, like, and if you aren't, like, why aren't you? Basically, Prince Harry of the royal family wrote a book called Spare, and that is, connected to the fact that he is the spare while his brother is the heir.
Oh, is that why?
Is that, you guys didn't know that?
Well, I mean, like, I had a general idea of it, but I guess it's like, dang.
Wait.
That was more spare me,
Spare me?
No, because it's so funny because that's actually trending on Twitter right now. Like, spare me.
That's because Piers Morgan, that's what he called it.
That's funny.
he says
Yeah.
spare me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, Prince Harry, he wrote a book, and if you guys don't know, he left the royal family way back in early 2020, like way before the pandemic, and he was able to, he spilled some stuff about what was happening with him and his family and what was going on, the drama. He did an Oprah interview, spilling some tea back then, and over the years they've been like putting out content like little by little, just exposing what they've been through. And so this is one of the exposés that they were able to just
Wow.
I heard it
How
out.
Serendipitous. Spilling the tea.
Wait,
The
so
tea.
No, because they're British.
That must be like really, that must be like blasphemous to spill the tea.
well,
I just got the joke.
the thing is, how could the royal family let Harry do this? Like,
No, exactly. I
they
would think that
supposed
they would
to-
send their soldiers to the streets to get him.
yeah, like what? Like keep it under like wraps, something like that.
They'd have to come in America, and I just
Well,
don't think that's going to be very easy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, I read on Twitter that Spare actually accidentally got out early in Spain. It was like, I think it was in Spain, and then like the royal house, like what do you call them, the royal advisors or something like that.
You don't know.
They were trying so hard to like get the book and just like translate it and just be able to like see
because it was in Spanish.
yeah.
But the Guardian, which is like a publication out there, like a publisher, they got it. I think it's a newspaper actually. They got a copy of the book, and they were spilling all sorts of details. And then, of course, all of the English publications were spilling all sorts of details. And I think it was to try to derail the sales, so that people would say, "Oh, why do I need to buy it now? Look at all this. I've already know everything." And instead, it completely backfired. It made people want it even more.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, you guys do know that, like this is probably something that has happened, like what do you call that again, where something has happened before, like deja vu, because
did
this
this
happened
happen?
in the 90s, where Princess Diana, she had her own expose what was going on.
She did?
Yeah, she did, way back in the 90s.
Is it still on
book?
sale?
Yeah, she wrote it.
I didn't know that.
She wrote it with. Well, it was because it was secret. It wasn't supposed to officially be her, but she wrote it with this author named Andrew Morton. And it's funny because I laugh with Shalom because I was about maybe her age, or probably a little bit younger, when I read Diana's book, and it was was when I had you two at least.
Nothing-
So what do you
new
think,
under the sun.
comparing both of those, which one is more of a bombshell?
Oh, wow.
Oh wow!
Well, I
'Cause
feel like
Diana's was like.
She said it.
Like when she said she threw herself down the stairs, and she
Whoa.
had like literally talked about like Camilla and Charles and her. It was explosive.
Whoa.
I can't really. I don't really know.
I think she set the tone, and I think Harry was like, he carried it on, 20, 30 years later.
Will Prince William like write a book too?
No.
Imagine.
That,
Imagine.
not the future king. The future king is not writing a book.
So the real question is, what line is it? Is there a line between your personal freedom to share your experience, and then if you cross, is there a certain line you cross where like, look, these are family secrets, you don't share no matter how bad you're
That's
feeling.
so true. Like, I think about all the celebrities and stuff who wrote books about their family life. So like Will Smith, or like who else? Viola Davis, or like when they're sharing all their details of how their parents treated them, or how they interacted with certain friends or other celebrities, and you're hearing things about them, and it's like, I agree with that. Where is the line?
Yeah, but they kicked him out.
No, he left.
Yeah, he left, but they were also discriminating against his literal wife. So
But still, it's still a
they
family.
crossed the line.
Okay, yes, but I'm saying
So your position is, if someone crosses the line with you, then it's just like,
It's
you can
all
just say
game.
whatever, doesn't
Yes.
matter.
Yes, that's my opinion. So.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm not gonna cross the line with you.
I know, right?
All my business will be out in the street.
What about you guys?
Oh man, this is a hard question to answer. Josh, you answer first.
I think that okay, here's the thing. I could see why Prince Harry came out with the book and exposed them, because if he didn't, he would have looked like a diva trying to lead the family,
Right.
like, oh, I'm just gonna do my own thing. He had to tell everyone why he left. He had to
Yeah,
spill the
I can see
details
that.
so you could see their side.
The British media is really spinning this thing, and so he had to write a book to
Yeah.
kind of like highlight what's really happening from his perspective.
And also,
That's a good point.
Also, I feel like that the family hasn't necessarily done anything to correct any rumors against him.
No, they really have not.
Yeah.
So
In
it's
fact,
all in
they've
his
helped
hands.
feed.
Right. So it's all in his hands to explain
Right.
themselves and stuff like that. And two, also, I think the royal family is different from even a lot of celebrity families and stuff like that, because they're very public already. So it's not like...
Yeah, Shalom said that every single day in the morning, the whole family reads the news about themselves.
What? The
you
royal
tell
family.
You tell the story, Shalom. I don't want to spoil
so
it.
like, if you guys seen The Crown, I'm sure you guys seen Queen Elizabeth. She would read like The Sun and like, all the British like newspapers like of the time, and I was like, I was kind of weirded out, like, why would she read about herself? But like, I don't know, I feel like it's something that they have to keep up with themselves, keep up an image and see what they have to
Wait, but
correct
you're not
within
going to tell the
themselves.
actual story of his anger issues?
Wait, but
Oh, that's part of the book. That's part of the book.
Yes,
okay,
yes,
so
yes.
before you get to that though, isn't The Crown fictional? Well, kind of in a way. Like, it's historical, but it has some hit.
Well, Prince Harry's touched on it. That's the thing. That was another thing that was going on, because Prince Harry says that they always, they're friends with the media. They're actually friends with, the publications over there, like the whole royal family.
Okay.
And so he touches it on his book about how he and his whole family, each house that they have within, like, there's like Clarence house, there's different houses inside the royal,
basically
family
offices.
thing.
They call them houses, but it's like office.
There's different offices, and they, in order for them to, for the publications not to publish bad things about them, they have to feed them stories. The family themselves have to feed them stories.
Well, what they'll do is they'll say, okay, we have a breaking news about let's say Prince Harry, right? And so, and when he was still in the royal family, his office would be with Kate, William, him, and when he married Meghan, it was like all four of them, but it was the three of them before Meghan came in.
Yeah.
And him and his brother had agreed that they would never feed the press bad or things about them in order to things about someone else in order to deflect from news that make them look bad.
Okay.
But then what he was saying was that kind of went out the window as they got older, and then of course obviously when he married Meghan. And so when things would come out, let's say about, or where the press was saying, hey, we're going to break this news about, let's say, Andrew, they'd be like, well, or Camilla, well, but have you heard about this with Harry?
Right. I got news for you, and will you print this about them instead of printing about me? So they're like swapping.
Because the thing about why
Selling
they're so close with the media is because their very relevance is based off of the public goodwill.
Yeah.
And so the media really controls the public's goodwill, the world's goodwill over everything.
So it's a practice to throw each other under the double-decker bus.
Oh boy.
Wow.
You're on a roll today.
I'm on a roll.
Okay, so, getting to the details of the book. So one of the explosive details that Harry has revealed is his fight with his brother William. And so William actually has been I guess he's been reading some news about Meghan and, about what she's been doing and how, he was basically saying how she's rude, she's abrasive, all sorts of stuff that he's been reading on the news. And or maybe he's experienced.
That's so weird. I just want to say, that's so weird to be he's reading the news about her, but does he not spend time with her? I don't understand.
I'm sure it was a little bit of both, but I'm sure in the publications, it's just she's getting more and more of the, the light more so than him. And so, it's been, he's probably just thinking of her as a diva and stuff like that. So he came to confront Harry about this, and Harry's and Prince William's what does this have to do?
Prince Harry.
Yeah, Prince Harry. He's stay away from my wife and stuff like that, and just basically defending her and just being why are you reading all this and da 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 da. And so things got physical, and so William grabbed him by the collar and kind of pushed him to come on, fight me. And at one point he just tripped over Harry tripped over the dog bowl and kind of hurt himself. And just yeah.
What? That's so weird.
But why is he telling a story about how he got beat up? That's kind of lame.
You leave out.
Is he guarding our sympathy? My brother beat me up.
He attacked me.
I tripped over the dog bowl. You know what it reminds me of? That TikTok a long time ago. Charlie bit
my
me.
finger. My finger.
That isn't even a TikTok. What?
So funny.
What was it? Or was that a
Vine?
YouTube?
Was it a Vine?
It was a YouTube video.
YouTube video.
Right.
I think the funniest thing about
Charlie
it is
bit my
afterwards that
finger.
after William calmed down, he was I'm sorry, Harold, and his first name is actually Henry. I think that's what got me a little. So I was wait, you don't even know your own brother's name.
That's
Wait.
so what?
Called him by the wrong name?
Wait,
Yeah,
so,
but he's
It's me being I'm sorry, Sharon.
No, but they call him Harold a lot though.
But his birth name is Henry.
Probably a nickname then.
it's so weird seeing royals fight because I feel like they'd be the ones who let's not fight here or anything
So Daddy, just hearing this, do you think that it's kind of whiny on his part with things that he's just revealing?
I don't know. I just feel just the fight, telling that fight. It's embarrassing. My brother beat me up.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be some army guy. You went to war.
But he probably
At
didn't
the
want
back.
to. He didn't want to fold him. He didn't want to fade him.
Okay.
I feel I feel like it would have been more embarrassing if he was fighting someone other than his family member. Like,
well, I'll tell you this. What I found pretty cringe was that he started talking in the beginning of the book about how his brother's balding. You know, and then he's more balding. I think that's a little petty. That was a little petty.
That was definitely petty.
Not only that, he said his resemblance to his mother is fading. I was like, burn.
And Harry said, with age, I was like,
yeah.
Burn.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a little bit of pettiness. So I mean, it's one thing when you're getting into the nooks and crannies of how they're attacking your wife, but like when you're coming that low, it's like,
okay, but think about it. If he has all this boiling inside of him because literally his brother is releasing things in the press about him, about his wife, about his kids, all that, I can see taking shots at his hair.
Well, I think it does undermine it, but I think that my opinion is I don't feel like he's whiny. I feel like this is his opportunity to share
how he's really feeling,
what happened. Will he have regrets later? Probably. We all do. Like, a lot of times I could say something on this podcast and regret it tomorrow and go, why did I say that? Like, it just happens in life. So I appreciate the fact that he is sharing his side of the story. I expect Meghan to probably have a book, because a lot of people are like, well, they need to just move on. Like, well, it takes time to write a book. It takes time
from
to
getting kicked out of the royalty.
I know, right?
True.
I just don't feel as though Meghan's book is going to be as interesting or as I don't know. It's not going to be
because
as...
Because she's not part of the royalty. She didn't really get to see...
I don't feel... Yeah. No, I just don't feel that she is going to tell her story. I don't feel like she's going to go deep like he's telling it all. Like he's sharing it all.
So you think that she might be more surface? Like she might not actually say, guarded. Because I don't know. Guarded. If she says exactly what happened, I can see it being explosive.
No, but I don't even think that she's going to talk about her own family and her own upbringing in the way that he is talking about it.
If she does, I mean, I feel sorry for her, because her sister is going to be just... she's going to get that lawyer so quick to sue her for something she said.
That is so true.
That is so true.
It would be really tacky if the royal family tried to sue them. It would be very
that wouldn't happen because they're already written. I don't see them suing them. I can see the sister.
The sister. Oh, yeah.
For sure.
The sister wants to sue Meghan for breathing. I don't know. It's weird. It's just a weird situation.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what? If she's watching this, you're a very nice woman.
Sister? Why are you scared of the sister?
I'm joking.
I'm like, defamation.
No, but guys,
So, like, what else have you guys read in the book that just made you go, like, surprised?
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, see, we just read it, but you were the one that was reading it.
Well, I was surprised by the exchange between Kate and Meghan regarding the flower girl dresses.
Right.
Well, first of all, I'm always a little bit weird when people release like text messages.
Was that really a real text message?
But you guys know text messages is the same as
a conversation. Yeah, I know. It's just
except you have receipts.
It just feels more official.
Yeah, but like
this is the thing. I mean, we didn't literally see screenshots, so it's still hearsay.
Right,
but
they made it up.
But the thing is, why I thought it was kind of weird was because it was like, why was there this whole thing like let's remake all the dresses, like Kate was saying, let's remake all the dresses, and Meghan was like, there's a tailor here, because basically saying Kate said that she had Charlotte try on the dress at home and that Charlotte was crying because it was so big and too long, and she said it needs to be altered, and Meghan was like, yes, and I told you that we have a tailor right here, and he's waiting on you.
That is so royal family to be like, oh, this food is tasteless, it needs more salt, throw it out and make another dish,
and then you cry
instead
over
of adding
the salt.
Like that is so royal family to throw everything out. Like,
because what happened was
it's a perfectly fine dress. Alter the dress.
Right. They were all handmade, and Givenchy, like they're the ones who made it. And I don't really know exactly what happened, but I do know that they had a tailor, and even in I saw in Daily Mail that the tailor said, he was working like overtime trying to basically make sure all the dresses were tailored, and it ended up looking good. But okay, Now, I say that to say there's always drama before a wedding.
Yeah.
Like,
Always.
always.
That's
Always.
true.
So
That's
to
true.
me, it's not a huge indictment on Kate. It's not like, oh, this is the worst thing that's ever
but, like,
happened.
I feel like the whole thing was about. Remember how years ago when Daily Mail was saying how Kate, like Meghan made Kate cry, but then like she corrected it on the Oprah interview saying like, no, it was actually Kate who made Meghan cry.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Even in a wedding, it's not uncommon for the bride to cry with the tension that is happening.
Right.
Now, granted, I am firmly of the belief that all of this was compounded by a million with the public eye and the institutionalized bias or racism, however you want to put it. Because
Let's talk about that.
Harry and Meghan are saying that they never said that the royal family was racist, right?
Right.
And they're saying that they will never reveal who said how dark the baby will be because it was unconscious bias and not racism.
Not racism.
So that kind of in the black community, I think all of us were like, "What, girl? No,
No.
that's not unconscious bias."
Why are you scaling it back? Like
Right.
scaling back the I mean, I don't know. I do think that there are some things about the royal family that you don't need to skip to racism and jump to racism because there's several steps before you even get to racism.
Like?
I'm not taking racism out of the equation. All I'm saying is that there are several other isms before you even get to the racism.
Classism, elitism.
Yeah, elitism, all
that's
sorts
true.
of things in the
Just
so
even
there's
the fact,
there's enough
yeah.
white people that have been treated horrible by the royal family.
Yeah. So that's why
And
I agree with you.
exact same things that has happened to Meghan is happening to other white people. So before we get to racism, not taking out racism,
Right.
before we even get there, hey, there's a whole lot of other isms.
But when it
Right,
comes
and like
to
the
that,
fact that they're lower on the the royalty tier list. If you think about it, they're not William and Kate.
Right.
They're after him.
but when you ask about complexion,
That's
and
straight race.
it's usually like, how dark is he going to be? Kind of like, I don't think, I personally, I wasn't there, but I imagine it wasn't said like this. Oh, I wonder how dark he's going to be.
Ooh,
I don't think
I'm
so.
excited.
I don't think
Yeah.
it was with
Ooh, I'm
excitement
so
and wanting.
excited.
Yeah.
that reminds me of another British man that was what's his name?
Mr. Bean?
Mr. Bean. And he's like, hey, I touched it.
My goodness. That's taking that out of context. People are going to be like, what is he talking about? But
Yeah, you have to watch Rat Race
throat got dry.
to get that inner joke.
But I do think it was said like, ooh, I wonder how dark it's going to be. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that like all family goes through this though? Like certain families. I know our family, we're not really of that like, oh, what color do you think their skin tone's gonna be? Like especially in like the
Well, in
black
certain-
community. Like
I think in the
all
black
black
community,
families
in
go
the black
through that.
community,
well, I don't think our family. That's what I'm
It's-
saying.
what do they
Well,
call it?
not in our
Not in our immediate
family.
but our
Right.
extended.
Extended
Yes,
family
everyone's
is-
obsessed with their
But
skin
what is
color.
it? What was it called?
What?
Colorism.
Colorism.
Oh, colorism. I couldn't remember the word.
But no, yeah, and every black family, almost, I can't speak for everybody, but we go through it. We
Well,
go through colorism.
If black people talk about it, then it's colorism.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think if it's fair to say that if white people are concerned about a child coming out black, I think it's fair to say that that's racism.
Because what happens if he is?
Yeah, what are you saying?
Right.
What are you saying? That they're ugly? Or are you saying
Look, that
they'll
that
be
country
judged? Or
doesn't
are they
even
saying-
treat redheads well. So,
Right.
oh my
Wow.
goodness, I can't even imagine.
True.
Yeah, that's true. That's
You know,
true.
I mean, I wonder if Harry's treatment would have been a little different if he wasn't redhead.
I forgot he's a redhead.
Oh yeah.
And their two children are now.
Oh yeah. I love how his children are redhead. Redheads are the most beautiful people, guys. I always wanted to be a redhead growing up and looking.
That is insane.
Wait, did you want to question? Did you want to be black and redhead? Like, because you know, like there's black people that are redheads naturally.
Natural.
Oh yeah. I never thought of it like that.
Wait, hold on. Who's redhead? Is yours blonde or redhead? Because like I feel like yours looks more like
Yeah, but
his.
that's natural red. Hers is color.
Yeah, like
color red.
Color
like-
red.
Yeah,
And this is.
that's blonde, but it looks
now
more
it
like
looks
yours.
Now it looks blonde. It's supposed to be ginger.
Yeah, well,
My
that's
hair.
what they call redheads, gingers.
Gingers.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
Anyway, but the thing is, I personally think though, like I said, black families, we get really into who's going to be light, who's dark, and of course, whenever you have a baby, you always check the ears, you always check the nail beds, and that shows you the complexion.
How
most
dark
likely,
they will get.
The baby will be.
Right, but all nipples look the same.
No, when you're young,
When you're a baby,
like
it
all of you
shows.
guys when you were born were like, obviously very pale, right? And
Wow.
it's like we can look in the ear and see just how dark or light. And we've had, like I said, people in our family discuss the who's the lightest to the darkest in our extended family. We've had people even before you guys were born, even just growing up, Daddy and I have experienced different things in our life. And it's also, what do you call the hair? We never have a name for it. Should we call it hairism?
Yeah,
like who has like the straighter hair?
Yeah, who
to
has
the-
straighter hair or the nappiest, quote unquote, nappiest hair.
Or people
right.
say good hair.
Good hair.
hair, yes.
Yeah, that has always been something.
Well, is it fair? Because I jumped to conclusion. Is it fair to call it racism that if we're having the same conversations in our families that white people are having in their families, and they're like wondering if the child is going to be black? Is it fair to say it's racism, or could it be
Yes.
colorism?
Curiosity.
Could it just be colorism?
No,
that's a really
racism.
weird question
Well,
to say about a baby.
I just think it's all based on. I think it's all based on the imperialism and all the things
I
that
wish I
were
knew what that word meant.
Imperialism?
Yeah,
don't
I don't know what that means.
imperialism is?
Oh, I don't know the literal definition.
But like, why should
think
you
it's-
care the skin perplexity?
What does it mean, Shalom?
Well,
exactly,
why- no,
that's
no,
weird.
Well, when we were colonized, and when Africa was like separated and was given to
Now you're
different
going back
European.
to like the 1600s.
No, but I'm just giving the history of it. That when we were separated, part of the way to conquer us was to indoctrinate the native people to say, listen, if a white person has a baby with a black person, then the byproduct of that couple is more superior, because it
Right.
shows that a
colored.
white person has
Right.
has had a child with that child. And so it started from back then. It's like empowering the lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even in slavery, the lighter skinned slaves tended to get into the house and became the house slaves, and things was a little bit easier for them in some cases. So
This is
Yeah.
all racism, though.
so it's all stemming from racism. So like,
Yeah.
that's
There's
why I
just people
said.
find different words for things. Racism.
Colorism.
Colorism.
This book is so full of so much British words. It's crazy. I mean, I need a dictionary. Like bloke,
Yeah, I'm not
Bloke.
God.
He's a courtyard.
What was it called again? That British. I really just read it. It was like
Him and his brother are having a row. They're having
I don't know what that
row.
means. What does that mean?
A
Roll means
row?
fight.
It's a fight.
And by the way, imperialism means like royal, or just like
It just means royal?
it's like another word for like some sort of like royal. It's like
I don't know if that means royal. Imperial, does that mean royal?
it's like it's like
Or does it just mean
it's like a higher ranking.
when I think
like,
imperial, I think Star Wars.
Exactly. So imperial is not just for like
Royal. It's not
it's
just
not
royal. I don't think it's just
royal. It's
royal.
more like
a higher sort of
guys.
like what would you call it? Like a higher royal or
Like hierarchy.
higher.
Hierarchy?
Okay, so this is imperialism. We were just having a discussion, and we're wondering what imperialism is. So we're gonna look it up.
It's like this.
when
It's like
one
the
country
definition.
Let's hear it.
It's
Okay.
like the difference
Hold on one
between
second.
royalty and royal.
a
Like
policy of extending a country's power and influence through diplomacy or military force.
Right.
Well,
Oh, got you. So basically, like England taking over several countries.
Several countries,
Okay, okay.
exactly.
that's
so
colonialism too.
it's colonialism, but it's
and
all kind of
imperialism.
like the
It's
same.
the same word. Same words
it's,
and different.
It's the same concept.
word, same
It's
different.
somebody coming in and basically taking over an impoverished country.
Okay,
and
got you.
basically-
speaking of
See, I'm reading my Russian book right now, and when they talk about imperial, they say like imperial family or the imperial, things like
Royal.
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
so I got that in that context, what imperial means.
What?
Okay, Shasha, what are you looking at?
Okay, so first of all, now get to the juicy part of this book, okay?
Okay.
So remember when you're saying this, why it was called Spare? Mm-hmm. So for all the Americans out there, or for people clueless like me, there's a heir and a spare. A heir is basically the person that's going to be king. The spare is basically whatever happens, they could be a replacement. So in the book, I was reading this page, on page 15, it said, I was the shadow, the support, the plan B. I was brought into the world in case something happened to William, his brother. I was assumed to provide backup distraction, and if necessary, a spare part, kidney perhaps, blood transfusion, a speck of bone marrow.
Oh my goodness.
I was 20 the first time I heard the story of what Pa, the king right now, illegally said to Mummy. Allegedly said to Mummy, which is Princess Diana, the day of my birth. Wonderful. Now you've given me an heir and a spare. My work is done. A joke. On the other hand, minutes after delivering this bit of high comedy, Pa was said to have gone off to meet with his girlfriend. Whoa!
Okay, but here, clearly we already, it was already released. That tea was released a long time ago that he had a girlfriend and he was engaged.
No, it's just it's more the fact that he went to his girlfriend right after Harry was born.
That's so
right,
sad.
He did a lot of inappropriate things, but I think the bombshell for me was him suggesting that his organs were on the line. That his brother,
if his brother needed a heart, they would take this heart in a second.
And that's how he feels. He feels literally, my life is on the line.
But that's what
my literal physical life.
But I feel like that's what siblings should feel like. Like
no,
if
what?
No, like not like out of obligation, but like out of love.
And you gotta watch your words. You're the oldest here. You are the oldest here.
No, what I'm saying
You're talking about a kidney, not a heart. Like
not like a heart.
Yeah, but that's willingly, Shalom. I think he's saying like
unwillingly. They'll strap him down. They would strap him down.
You know what's interesting to me though is that he's third in line, right? So
now he's second.
At the time that he was born, he was third in line.
Yeah.
And okay, so most of us, regardless of what we think about the institution, let's just be real. Not really those people, but let's just say there was some imaginary family and we had the opportunity to be a princess or a prince. We would be like, okay, all right, where's my title? Like, I'll be duke and duchess.
No, actually, no.
Okay. But I'm just saying that when we think like, wow, like that kind of proximity, we could be like 132nd to the throne and we would tell everybody, I am the prince or I'm a princess or whatever. And he's like third in line. And you would think someone like him would be treated like, elevated. And I feel like the way he's talking here is that he was treated like he was spare parts. And I feel like there were other people who were further who probably felt better about their position because they were not necessarily bred to be, that spare. So he's growing up feeling like, I'm just saying, I would probably feel more special. If all of a sudden I found out I was 32nd cousin to the queen or something.
I think I feel more special right now.
No, but I'm just saying if you like royalty and you feel like, look at me, I have royal blood.
Yeah.
All I'm saying, I'm saying hypothetically, because I don't really care about that. But what I am saying is that you would think, because I think in our perceptions as Americans especially,
we'd be like third in line.
Wow, like you must be be treated
amazingly,
amazing, waited on hand and foot.
But
no, he was like.
Do you think
so now he's like fifth or sixth? Like, isn't it William? Then after William's oldest son, and then after William's oldest son,
the other children,
the next son.
The daughter, then the son.
The daughter is before.
I think they skipped the girl.
No, wait, question.
No, they made it that the daughter.
The daughter's in line for the throne too.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So the daughter is before the last son.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, okay.
So he's like sixth in line. Harry.
No, he's like fifth. He's still fifth.
It's William.
No, Charles is already king.
Charles. Okay, so William is first in line.
William, then his 3 children. So he's fifth. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Man, even if he stayed, he would never be going to the throne. That's a lot of people.
Do you think that he made this book, Harry, to really have the public change their perspective on the monarchy itself, and that at some point people should question whether there should be a monarchy in England?
I don't know.
Well-
I feel like he just wanted to tell a story. I don't think he was necessarily saying
Yeah.
anything like, because I think if it was about hating the monarchy, he would have spilled all monarchy secrets. You know what I mean? Not just about his.
Yeah.
The thing is, monarchy, presidency, like, it's really all really just the same at this point.
Right.
I mean, kind of, but the thing is, some things are voted in and some things are not.
I think that
do
he.
you really think they're voted, Sinead?
Okay,
president?
all
Oh,
right.
well, that's true. Things
That's
are.
true.
Oh, are we getting tin hat
but
here?
this is the thing, though. I do feel that, especially if you watched the Netflix documentary, there were a lot of things that were put in there that basically said, what is the relevancy of this institution? And so on the other end, though, I have been seeing some people argue on Twitter that had the royal family accepted Meghan in the way that was satisfactory to Harry and Meghan, that you wouldn't hear a lick, that they would not be standing up against the institution of the monarchy, and that they would have been fine, and that this is not really about standing up for what's right and wrong, but more about
How
they
they were
didn't
treated.
treat me fair, so now I'm gonna scorch the earth with this. I'm taking them down with me. Do you agree?
Whoa.
Well,
That's aggressive.
but the thing is, man, I still feel like it's been building up in Harry though for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Ever since
that
birth.
yeah, it's been building up in Harry for years.
I think he legitimately feels that his life and especially his wife's life is in danger.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
No doubt about
I
it.
think I was saying earlier on when we recorded our podcast that I was saying that Meghan has to be one of the strongest women, because not many people can withstand that much negative energy, because even if she doesn't read any of the comments, even if she doesn't read any of it, things still get to you.
Yeah.
And literally there's a lot of hateful energy directed towards her.
And not just even from the monarchy, but from the press,
people.
from the press in
The Daily
Europe.
Mail, yeah.
Then there's the press in the United States sometimes. Then there's the people who are like, oh, she should have stayed and stuck it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's so many different people
so
on
much
both sides.
anger. This is why I feel a lot of this is racism, because you may not like Meghan, you may not like what she does, but the vitriol, the absolute intensity of the hate that is directed towards her is unreal to me.
Yeah.
Like we know that there are other issues that are going on in that family, and nowhere near. And when I say that family, the royal family, some really horrible things that they've really recently dealt with, and they haven't even. The same people who are putting all this hate on Meghan aren't even saying a word about that other person.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just like, part of it is to continue to deflect, but part of it is this unnatural. And I feel, like I said, this is an intense hate that is beyond what I think she actually did. Like, what did she do?
Right.
To be compared, like that man who said, oh, I want to see her. I imagine her walking down the street naked and people throwing excrement at her. Like,
Wow.
Why?
Wow.
Why do so many people are like, I just hate her. I can't stand her. Like, why? What
she
did
literally
she
didn't do anything. She did not do anything.
So is
She's
she-
literally just living.
So is this hatred for like black woman energy? Like
Yes.
they feel like she's like this black
Yes.
woman, and so
I feel like
100%. Yes, 100%.
honestly, I feel like she brings out the energy that she can do anything. And I feel like people hate
Yeah,
her.
people don't like that. They want to
Yeah.
put her in her place. I mean, they've compared her in this one article. They compared her to a really sadistic killer that was, I guess, famous in England.
Whoa.
What?
And yeah, that's what they put her in the same sort of category of most hated. And it's just like, no, sorry. The article was about how this person hates Meghan more than that killer.
Okay, so I have a question. There is this trope that black women are angry black women, oh, she's coming off all confident and angry and this and that. So my question is Meghan closer to an angry black woman, or is she closer to the confidence of a white man that thinks he owns the world? Like,
Confidence of a white man.
she,
Oh, yeah.
does she
latter.
have black woman energy, or does she have white man energy?
She has white man
White man energy. She feels like she could do anything.
Nice. She has no barriers.
Right.
Yeah, because I feel like even white women, to a certain point, like they feel like they have privilege, but they don't feel like they have that much privilege.
Right,
So
because
they're-
just as a woman. But I feel like that Meghan literally has white man energy. Like,
yeah.
there's a difference between female energy and male energy. And she has like,
they did not like that. And so I think there's a lot of people watching who feel like if I went into that family, I would have known my place and I would have made sure that I stayed in line and they would have been the doormat. If they needed me to be the doormat, I signed up. Something dumb like that. But I feel like, Meghan was like, no, this does not work for me. And I feel like, Harry was like we had said earlier, like looking for someone with that kind of strength, that could help him. Like you said, it was boiling up. And they just made... It was like putting them two together was like explosive.
He chose a woman that would help him to achieve or take him on the journey that he was going. He was going on a journey to vindicate himself, to achieve certain goals in his life, and to just basically not be a spear. And he chose the right woman because this woman is taking him on the journey.
Yeah. It's so funny because people would think, oh, Harry's the prize because he's a prince. No, she's actually the prize, and he won at that prize.
That's right. I mean, what is she really getting out of this? No, they got a lot of money. Okay, they got a lot of money, but
then for a while when they left, they didn't have that much, right?
No, he was cut off.
All they have is titles. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all. Basically, all they left with.
Technically, if they produce like products or anything,
but they had to do that afterwards. But they had to do that afterwards. That's the thing. They had to take the step to do that.
I feel like they would know that because they have like
even still, Shaw, think about it. He grew up in royalty, always having money. Always having money. Him going out and going into basically entrepreneurship.
Wasn't Meghan rich as well?
No.
You know what I find weird,
she
though?
Wasn't? Oh.
You know what I find weird is why is it, though, that everyone they work with... I mean, okay, this is the thing. I said what I said. What did she do? And, I think there's an intense hate. Okay, I got all that. But also, why do so many people quit when they work with them? And why does that happen? I know that there were certain things about supposedly her bullying even people in the staff. In England, I didn't really believe it. I really don't. But then I'm wondering, why is there such a high turnover with everyone they work with? Maybe it's just normal turnover, but the press just keeps on reporting it like it's not.
What if they always replace a bunch of servants like in the castle and stuff like that?
Well, it's like this. We've worked with people before in the past, right? And there's always replacements for other people,
just things happen.
Yeah,
because even right now, like just unemployment rate and people switching jobs all the time. That's probably what was just happening. But the press is just like finding it and they're turning it into their own story.
Yeah.
Because I seriously don't think that it's just because Meghan is a certain way. Or if it was, she has American energy and they might not be used to American energy, which is a little bit different than British energy.
I'm going to put my tin hat on too and say, I think that there are people actively trying to sabotage them.
Right.
So I think they go on the back end, secretly say, hey, I'll work if you quit over there.
No, I'll
give you this job over here, and then they up and then they leave.
So is it the men in gray? Is it the men in gray?
I don't know.
There is men in gray.
Yeah, I do. I think there's men in black and gray. Mm-hmm.
But the men in black is American, right? And then the men in gray is British.
Yeah.
Wait, is that true?
Really?
Well, Queen Elizabeth talked about the men in gray.
Wow.
Who control the actual, institution.
Wow. We're getting to conspiracy theory.
I know, right?
Elizabeth spilling tea.
That's probably the only tea she's ever spilled.
Every country has like men in a particular color.
Men in tan.
Men in navy.
In Jamaica, is it men in green and yellow?
Men in green and yellow.
With their dreads. Talking about, we'll investigate it later.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, but overall, who are you guys? Are you guys Team Royal Family or Team Harry and Meghan?
I'm Team Harry and Meghan.
Team Harry and Meghan.
I'm Team Harry and Meghan.
I'm Team Harry and Meghan. I'm sorry.
I
am not Team Royal Family.
Nope.
No, and I am not British tabloid and the whole culture and all that stuff. No.
I'm Team Harry and Meghan too.
I'm rooting for them to expose.
I think most Americans are Team Harry and Meghan.
That's like saying, are you Team government or the middle class worker? Like,
right.
I'm going for the oppressed people here.
Yeah, like why not go for the underdog, the oppressed? Like what?
Exactly.
Well, and then because people will say, "Oh, look at them whining in their $15 million Montecito mansion and their $100 million deals."
Yes,
but they are. Like she literally. If I were her, I would be terrified because these people are they're violent and they're dangerous. dangerous, and she has young kids. Yes,
Right.
there is
And
a
they
form
don't
of
have-
impression.
they
And
don't
then also,
have
let's not
security
forget, they
detail.
still
They don't
worked
have
for that
security
because they did their
detail.
deals and stuff like that. They had to leave with nothing basically,
That's
live
true.
in someone else's house.
No, but
It's crazy.
y'all even saw. Did you guys see their house on the Netflix series?
No,
But that
Isn't
wasn't their house, though.
It wasn't their house.
No, think about it. Why
Small
would they
one, the
film?
little cottage?
Why would they?
Oh,
film
wait. Which house are you talking about?
Like the little cottage that they
Oh
were
yes,
living
that
in.
one. I thought you meant where they filmed their interviews.
No, not
that
that,
was
that.
beautiful. But no, their little cottage.
Y'all, they had a white fridge.
What is that?
No offense to people who have white fridge, but y'all, a royal family, and the ceiling,
Do they have the
Oprah.
popcorn ceiling? The popcorn ceiling?
Oh man,
He said
shag
he
carpets,
was, he said
shag
he was
rug carpets.
embarrassed.
No,
to
but
bring
you
her.
know, Oprah was shocked when she saw that.
Yeah, because
that
they
cottage.
invited her.
Oprah was just like,
This is where they currently
because
live?
you know
No,
Oprah
no.
and
When
Gail,
after
like,
they got married, that was
you know,
their
Oprah and Gail,
home
like
that they
we
were
don't
assigned.
do that anymore. We,
Yeah.
they're a long ways
No,
away
because
from a
when
little
I read
cottage.
years ago that the Queen Elizabeth was saying like, oh, here's this house, you guys can stay in, and like when I saw the pictures, you guys, I was shocked.
So basically, the
It's
house.
called Frogmore House. That's what it's called. Wait, is it Frogmore House or was it another house?
No, it was the little cottage was right before Frogmore.
Okay, Frogmore's just as bad.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
well, I mean,
Wait, so
then
you're
they
telling
renovated
me?
it.
You're
Yeah.
telling me that even when they got married, they didn't get no big mansion.
No.
No.
In fact,
whack.
Prince
They
William
were
and
in a
Catherine,
small
they
room.
lived in Kensington Palace. They got the smallest of the small. I'm telling you, it's the advisors. I don't even think this is Queen Elizabeth. This is
I
advisors.
know it's really malicious.
Because I don't think it's like they had no other properties. They just didn't want to give them a good property.
Crazy.
Have you ever like gone on one of those historical like runs where you go on a plantation and then you see the slave quarters and how small
What?
it is?
Yeah.
Like it,
Yeah.
it looked like
Are you
a
serious?
small slave quarters,
Wait,
like
guys,
bare minimal things.
But
inside
it
of
was, I mean, it was nowhere
was a-
near a slave
that-
cabin. That's,
Right.
that's
Wait,
for
Sasha.
sure.
Who forced them into this?
Are you saying
They had no
Wait,
place when they got
Queen
married. They were
Elizabeth,
given
slaves?
no. I don't know if it was Queen Elizabeth or the advisors. No,
think it's
not the
advisors.
slaves.
But the thing is, like, they wanted more privacy because they didn't want to stay necessarily like it was on Kensington Palace grounds, wasn't it? That
Yeah.
first cottage. But anyway, it was really bad. And then I was surprised to learn that she paid for the furniture with her own money. You know?
What? So it didn't even come with furniture?
Well, I think when they refurnished, it was either that place or Frogmore. Basically,
You're
this
telling me the royalty family with their billions and billions,
No, not royalty family, the royal family.
the royal.
We're YouTubers, guys.
Well, you know, they're very. First of all, something else I read was that like even the sheets that they used at like Balmoral and probably other places, that it had all sorts of places where it's been patched up and sewn up and like
What?
they keep them for a long time.
Why?
That grosses me out.
Why?
Frugal.
That's so
Frugal. They are
disgusting.
super frugal.
Wow.
Do they recycle their food?
Ew.
They chose to be frugal with them, not necessarily themselves.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot of double standards there. It's just weird.
Well, that's the whole point of the book. I think he's trying to say they hate me.
They hate me. Spare subtitle. They hate me.
He even said that even his grandpa and because I think grandpa and Queen Elizabeth called him the spare too.
Right. But he had a really good relationship with his grandfather. He really liked his grandfather, he said in the book, because his grandfather was very supportive of Diana and was always like Team Diana. And so I think that endeared him. I think that I think he has a really great, connection to his grandfather and his grandmother.
I
They
think
really
so,
were trying to be
yeah.
respectful
What do
when
you
she was
think
alive.
Queen Elizabeth thought of Meghan?
I think by the time she came in, she was really old, and I think when you get to a certain age, I think you just cannot fully invest in the same way. From the pictures that I saw, it looked like she tried to embrace. Because the thing about Queen Elizabeth, she had been queen for so long, and there were some things that happened under her watch that, if you read about that, you know, it's very disturbing. But overall, I think she could have, if she had told Harry, "You cannot marry Meghan," then
It wouldn't have happened.
It wouldn't have happened. So she had to have gone along to a point.
Yeah.
Okay, the positive side of this is that somebody must have been supportive, and I suspect it's the Queen, because like look at the wedding. The wedding was phenomenal.
It was beautiful.
Like
That's
with
true.
with the gospel choir, how they incorporated Black culture, like it was really.
That's true. I never saw it
even
that
the
way.
The pastor in his sermon, and
I never saw it that way, where the fact that everything did happen means there was at least somebody, at least
Yeah.
one person
Yeah.
supporting.
Plus,
Yeah.
I think she was just too old to care.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you start to check out, you know.
It's like,
Like,
I'm not
I
gonna fight
don't have
him.
much time. I don't have to deal with all
her
this.
sister's like, arg.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Because her sister wanted to marry someone and she had said nope because he was divorced. You know? And this is the thing. That was one of the main issues. The main issues with Meghan, outside of her being Black, which no one can convince me that was not a part of it, but was that she was a
she
divorced
was a divorcee.
American.
Yeah.
That's generally not going to go well. They didn't have good a history with that. If you know about the royal family,
Wallace
they didn't have good
Simpson.
history.
But look at Charles. I mean, he's divorced. Camilla's divorced. Like divorce now is like nothing.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
she was a stickler. The queen, she really took being the head of the church very seriously.
She really did.
She took it very seriously.
Yeah.
In fact, she took it more seriously than King Henry.
Who?
You know, way back
Oh,
in
yeah.
the day when
that's what I was
the
thinking.
first person that started the Church of England.
Notice how it's
he
always
started it over divorce, and she took it more divorce and marriage. She took it more serious than
Notice it's the women who really keep it together. Her, Queen Victoria. That's really all I can think of, because Queen Victoria, she never married after Albert died.
That's true.
Oh.
Well, I do think, though, that when it comes down to it, I think that if you're a Black person and you're going into the royal family, I would expect all of this. I would expect the vitriol. I would expect to be the scapegoat. I would expect the racism or unconscious bias, whatever they want to call it. I would expect all of it. Why? Because, like, there's nowhere on earth that you can go and there's not that you're not going to encounter something like this.
But going back to white man energy that Meghan has, Meghan did not grow up as a Black woman. She did not grow up saying her mother teaching her, you are going to be a Black woman in this society. Her mother just ignored.
Yeah, she says that on Netflix, so it's not like Markel's making that up. Like
Right,
she really
ignored
said it.
that. So Meghan grew up with this energy that the world is my oyster,
Right.
And she did not come in with like, okay, I know my place, or I know that I can't cross this line.
Well, I was just gonna say that she was born in LA, and I was born in LA, right? So we're both born and raised in LA, but
Yeah.
her upbringing would be very different than mine because of what we were talking about earlier, colorism. So she's grown up in a very diverse community in LA.
She's white passing.
And she never really probably had to face the initial bias that someone, just by looking at her, they would automatically start to assume certain things.
That's true.
So yeah, I mean, I think she always knew she was Black, period. But she even says in her on the Netflix documentary that this was the first time she was treated as a Black woman. Now, me personally, when I heard that, I was a little turned off by it, because I mean, obviously, like in our family and in my life, I've known Black people who were blonde, blue-eyed, and all the way up to the darkest of the dark. And that never changed how, like, I see them, or that they knew themselves as, they know that they're Black.
Right.
So when someone says at, your late 30s, that was the first time you were treated as a Black woman, I'm like, either she had so much confidence she never saw it even as she got older.
Yeah, that's so true, because think about it.
Yeah,
she was in
because, like, come
she was in
on.
the film industry and stuff like that. It had to have happened, but I think that she probably assumed that it was just against being
Women?
a female. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just sexism.
That is
Right.
so true.
But is that not white energy to not see color? Like she had the privilege
Right.
to not see color. So she just do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Dave Chappelle, where he thought he was a blind man that thought that thought he was white.
Yeah,
it's just like he just cannot see,
Well, he literally couldn't see because he was blind.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, it's that energy where it's just like, go get him.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, but
That's a very weird comparison for Meghan. But
I'm just saying, like there's this thing
yeah, but
where
what you're
seeing.
implying though, and then is delusion.
Yeah, like she's not seeing.
snap.
It's delusion. Like she's not seeing that you are a black woman.
Yeah, I would say like that turned me off as a black woman because I'm like, it was kind of like, and this is the first time I was treated like a black woman, and it was like, what were you expecting? You know, this is a white institution.
I mean, I was reading this really old book called what was it called again? Where a woman was trying to become a maid and stuff. What was it?
It's just called Maid?
Made.
No.
Maid.
It was another book. It was the one that you gave.
Nickel and Dime?
Nickel and Dime,
Nickel
yeah.
and Dime. It's about a white woman who basically tries to make it in these really Hispanic and black industry of like maids and waitresses and you know.
Well, she's trying to like report on it.
Yeah, report on it. So she's secretly undercover, a journalist, trying to see how the economy, basically how well she can do on these low wages. And she was treated like terribly, because of course people treat fast food workers terribly, and people who work in these kind of low jobs terribly. And in the book, she said something that also I was like, whoa. She was like, is this how it feels to be treated like a black person? And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're the subject of everything. Like, we cannot escape.
Yeah, it's just one of the things we have to deal with, And so when I heard Meghan say that her mom never really had that talk with her, like, this is what you have to expect as a black person, I was floored because like her mom looks totally black. Like you would never look at her mom and think anything else.
Yeah.
So I was just floored that she did not prepare her for that. And even her mother said that she regretted not preparing her for that.
And that's so sad.
I thought that was very strange in some sense because I can't think of one black family that does not have the talk.
Even white women, they have a talk
Their
with
own
own children,
yeah.
like whether adopted or they're biracial children.
Right. Or,
first of all,
females
even-
talk to girls and say, be careful because this is how it is in a male-driven society.
And also just
Right.
white people to their own children who are white talking about race like this is why you're not going to have bias, you're not going to be, this is how not to be racist. Like everybody has
just
their
something.
own sort of
Conversation.
talk or conversation about the topic.
I think you're right. I think it was definitely about women because in that same documentary, she was talking about how she wrote that ad, about the dish soap and how, it shouldn't just be women in the kitchen. So she was fully embracing like,
women's
women
movement
issues.
fight.
And it's just
Yeah.
like, whoa, before anybody sees you, you're like a black woman.
Yeah.
Right.
And because it doesn't matter, like she's white passing to a point, but I look at her, I don't go, is she black? Like I know right away, oh, she's black. And especially if you see pictures of her with her natural hair,
Yeah.
it's curly,
Oh, yeah.
So my thought though is that I still team Harry and Meghan, but nobody is perfect, just like I am not perfect. So I can see things in their story that I'm like, and then I see things where I'm like, man, I'm really glad that they're sharing their story, and I still believe that she's still getting way too much hate for
what it is,
whatever
like, yeah.
thing if she deserved anything, it's way more than beyond that.
So we all said we're team Harry and Meghan, but do you think that people are becoming on one side or the other based on color lines, or do you think it's more because they identify with being a spare? So if you're a white person living in the Appalachian Mountains, like you're probably identifying also because you feel as though you're disenfranchised as well. Like, is it a color thing? Do you think we're all separating on color on this
and
matter?
classism and
or
I've seen black people complaining on Twitter, saying that they don't really stand for us. What they stand for is that they felt that Meghan was treated unfairly. So I'm seeing black women, I'm seeing black men, I'm seeing white women, I'm seeing white men all hate on her. I don't really feel like it's a line with color per se. I think a lot of people who do support though tend to be black, but I have seen a lot of white supporters too.
Oh yeah.
But I would say I think it's more people who, and if I were to say there was a line, I think there's a line of people who are saying, if I were in that position, I would have appreciated it, and like people just wanting to put her in her place. That's where I kind of see the line. People who feel like she just really was out of line and she didn't know her place and she ruined a good thing. And it's like the breakup of the Beatles all over again. She's the Yoko Ono. That's how I see like the line. And I do think that then obviously there's always misogyny as well going on, because I think they're like, he's been whipped. And what I hate is when people are not giving Harry any sort of credit for having the gumption to want to do all of this. Like, it's all Meghan, and Meghan's making him do this and that.
Right.
Like, that's just not right.
Yeah, but you know what else I've been hearing, especially a lot of white women saying how Harry has not been a man. It's been Meghan doing all the calling to Tyler Perry. They're even calling Tyler Perry like as her savior more so than Harry, because Harry, you know, he didn't really make the calls. Always saying like, you know, I gotta get my family out of here. I gotta get my family out of here. But he wasn't putting it into action.
How do they know what's in the background? How do they know? How do they know?
Well, apparently in the background he was getting his butt beat by his brother.
That's true. I don't even like the way you said that.
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, he's not coming.
Where are you going with this?
He's not coming across like a manly man. Like, he's really.
No, that's what people are saying. That's what people are saying, and how basically saying how like Tyler Perry is basically her godfather, like fairy godmother, or godfather, whatever.
Fairy?
Or well, you know, people are assuming like, you know, he was the man.
Why are people acting like it's bad to help people though? Like, why is it being villainized? Tyler Perry going to help? Like, why is this even a thing to villainize? Exactly. And regardless of who reached out or whatever, people are trying to nitpick every single action that they make. Every single action, like it should have been Harry, or why is Tyler Perry doing this? Or like, why is this being so nitpicked?
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we see all this negativity mostly online. It happens in real life as well, but I feel like a lot of people want to have the guts to say it IRL. So.
I mean, that's true.
No, they would never say this.
People probably don't even care.
No, because even if like Harry and Meghan said, "Oh, Onyx Family, we'd love to work with you," I'd be like, "All right, guys, private the video." So anyway,
how about the king? How about if Charles? Hello, Onyx Family. Would like to work with you. I mean,
so would you still be?
Would you still be team Harry and Meghan? Like,
hey,
I would.
Do you see that woman when the king came in the room and she was like, it was like a worker. It was like this big black woman. She's like crawling on the ground, like she's like bowing down.
That was so embarrassing. I saw that video.
Wait.
Wait, let me tell you guys. So basically, King Charles, he was visiting like a kitchen, like a sort of like charity kitchen, right? And like there was a line of women who were working there, and then like basically this woman, like, you know, each of them had to bow, right? And this black woman, she was just like all over, just like, like she was like,
she crawls down,
on the
and then
floor.
she scoots towards him on her knees, and I'm just like, I can't even watch it. I watched like 2 seconds. I said, I cannot watch this.
How's react?
He was just like, he was enjoying it.
Yeah.
So like, I cannot watch it.
That's
I just
more
cannot.
like, this is what I've always imagined.
This is how everybody should. Someone show Meghan this. So basically, though, I do think though that when it comes down to it, guys, Harry and Meghan, we're not going to hear the last of them. Meghan has to have her book come out.
Yes,
I'm going to buy it.
Yes.
We're going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
But after that, though, I think it should be kind of over now. He's told his side. She's told her side.
Yeah.
They've done the documentary. Like, if there's like some sort of series, or I don't know what it is, like that would be a lot. I don't think we're at there.
Now they just need to go and do their charity work and
after her book,
do something productive for society. So anyhow, thank you so much for joining us and talking about Spear. Shalom, take us out.
Yeah. Yes, guys, please comment down. Which team are you guys? Are you guys team Kate William? Are you guys team Harry and Meghan? Are you guys team I don't care? Because, you know, there's the I don't care.
Yeah, that's
true. Majority. So, guys, thank you guys for watching. We hope you guys come back next time, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, bye.